Everybody. All right. Unfortunately, this is going to be kind of a topic of not knowing what's going on, especially when we get situations where we can identify whether there's a reversal or a reversal. But when we get here and there's no signal, it's just tough to think, all right, should I be going short right now, or have they slammed it down so hard that it's going to bounce? We don't have any criteria to show what we should be doing. So when that happens, it becomes a time to say, all right, let's keep our money out of the market for a little bit um, and wait to see when the next signal appears, which could be a bounce back up to the T-line and a failure, or a bullish engulfing signal telling us we're heading back up. The only problem has been, as we can see with the trajectory of the market, pretty much sideways for the last 2 months, not really going anywhere for kind of the last 3 months, and we still don't have anything that we can hang our hat on. Um, that's right. When in doubt, get out. So this is all being evidenced by the fact that there is just no buying. Here's a signal, your bearish flutter kicker signal, that if this wasn't the support level. Let's see if I can do this. That wasn't the support level. Does this become? It's not even. I don't know what. So right now, trying to find anything that would indicate where the next support level would be just isn't there. Um, Not even sure whether your fib retracements. No, it closed right on the 50% retracement in the NASDAQ today. So unfortunately, there are times in the market where you just have to say, do not see anything that puts the probabilities in our favor. So sometimes you just have to sit and wait for another signal. The transportation index also seems to have broken that level. So no telling where they could take this to. But the nice thing about having a big washout like this is if we do see some more massive selling tomorrow, at some point the 10-minute chart on an intraday basis is going to become very viable. So it might be where they take it down another 200 or 300 points tomorrow morning. Then you start watching to see if there's any sort of bounce. And those bounces usually will produce a lot of profitability, mainly due to the fact that if everybody sees starting to come back up, they just jump in with both feet. So that's what I was kind of watching for today. In the on the 10-minute chart. But as you can see, they never really got anything started. Every time they came up, closed back down, came back up, closed back down. Just nothing to tell us that there was any movement now to the upside. All right, so this is the, whoops, we're on the 5-minute chart. This is our bond prices. 10-year notes still moving up. Kind of broke this resistance level, pretty much telling us that the interest rates are going to be ultra low. So that puts us in a situation where, obviously people are heading for the secure, no volume. I hope there's volume. So today started out where gold wasn't really doing anything of any great interest. Let's make this bigger. What you can see what type of setup we've got. That big gap up now it looks like a 45-degree. So this is kind of to say why is that not working? Did I type this wrong? I did. So now we have something to hang our hat on, because what did we need to see after our message? Remember, the message is a pattern that's easily tradable in the sense that if we see something gap up and it starts selling off, that's telling us there's some profit taking after the gap up. But what was the message? The message was they gapped this up with great force. So what do we want to be watching for? We want to see when that profit taking is over. So we had a bullish Harami Doji type day today with stochastics heading up, telling us probably the selling has stopped. Now we can watch to see if there's positive trading tomorrow, which makes at least one sector viable, which is the gold sector. Same scenario. There's our message. Then today they gapped, this is AU, gapped it up, did a doji, makes very simple trading platform for tomorrow. If it opens positive, what type of pattern do we have? That bullish flutter kicker signal breaking out through this level tells us we should be in at least a good steady eddy uptrend. Yeah, GDX, I would imagine the same thing. Where are they? They're back into this slow trajectory. Didn't look at SA. SA, not the strongest, but the other ones, there are some good, strong gold stocks. AGI, for example, if it opens positive after the message, you can be buying. GG, yeah, GG not as strong as some of the others. What was the other one? Oh, Silver Wheaton in the silver area. This one can still be bought. And ABX also can be bought on positive trading. You know, I would think gold after hours is trading up a little bit. So anyways, yep, so that's one sector. Now, what do you short in this type of market after a big downdraft? Kind of got your risk factor that if you weren't shorting up here for some reason, which you probably couldn't because they blasted the market down in a matter of minutes, it's hard to short already down here when the market's down 1,000 points over 2 days. But there are some things that have a less risk to them where you could be buying the short funds like LabD. At least you got some, say, diversification with it being a fund versus just buying one stock. And the fear factor, the risk factor, and this is TZA, another one, is that any one of these stocks, if they've been clobbering over the last 2 days, all it takes is one little inkling of buying and they can come roaring back. So it makes going short in this area a little bit more risky, which again puts you in a position where right now with the markets as volatile and as indecisive, not indecisive, but no analytical analysis being able to be put to them, you're better just sitting on the sidelines waiting for the next signal. We've been short soybeans. It popped back up today. We've moved our sell stop down to where it's now down at 114. Closed today right at the T line. So we're still watching this to see if they can get back up above the T line. Again, the T line. Now we're almost in the oversold area. So that's why we want to have our stop at a level that if it came up through the 114 or the $1,140 area, that you want to stop out. But as long as it trades back below that level, you want to stay short on this one. Things like crude oil. Crude oil, as you can see, is nothing that you can really trade right now. They sold it off hard on Friday, sold it off today. Now they're trading up a little bit after hours. So this is kind of the lack of direction on most of the trading entities, whether it's the dollar, whether it's the gold seems to be the only one. But the dollar, as you can see, popped up big. And right here for this contract is just where the 200-day moving average is. So they're trading it lower right now. So again, there's still too much doubt out there. I'll pull up Newmont. Newmont also can open positive today and be a viable trade. What else was I? All right, so the only strength, doing scans tonight, the only strength we found is Whole Foods, left-right combo after an inverted hammer, doji, and trading up today with the markets as bad off as they were. Looks like a viable purchase on positive trading. Something's happening there. Another one is Dollar General. Notice how it's slowly curving up a fry pan bottom, belt hold type signal. That becomes a viable trade also on the positive or on the bullish side. There weren't too many bullish charts out there today. SGY held up reasonably well. Notice when it's pulled back, it's been indecisive, still above the T line. And IRM was another one that in a very bad market, they started bringing this back up. So those are the few that you want to watch on the long side. Can you confirm chart pattern, 8 exponential? Yeah, the T line is your I don't know why the colors are all up here. It's supposed to be a blue line, the 50-day moving average, and a red line for your 200-day moving average. Just don't have the 20 on here right now or the 3T line on. I don't know why this chart doesn't have it. Oh, yeah, I remember I heard Michael mentioning this one, but there are a few like this. So Kroger's got something going for it. Kroger's just a tough one to trade because of the lack of magnitude of being an institutional type trader. Let's see, we did the golds. Oh, the REITs were all acting well. Same type of chart pattern with a belt hold, bullish confirmation. Now we're just watching to see if they can break this level. But even if it doesn't, right now some of these REITs that are paying dividends, and that's probably the reason why the REITs are acting strong right now, is that the yields with the bond prices going higher and the yields going lower, anything that's paying a good interest rate is probably going to be picking up some strength. This is NHI. Oh, there was a bunch of others. I just didn't write them down. Well, another one that was acting well today was Hawaiian Air. A little bit of buying coming in there, so you might want to keep an eye on this one. But the utilities were in the same boat with the interest rates heading down. A lot of these stocks that are paying good dividends are picking up some strength. And again, it's the old head back to the safe money when the market's not as indecisive or not very a lot of confidence coming out of the market. This is NJR, New Jersey Resource Corp. I think that's also a utility. But there's your big bullish left-right combo right off the 50, breaking this level. You're in wave 3, and wave 3 should take you well up past this level if it's the same magnitude as this one right here. AVA, another utility that's acting well. So right now, I've never been able to trade utilities. Only because when I was a stockbroker back in the mid-70s, if the Dow moved 10 points in a day, that was a huge, hellacious day. I can remember at one time, the Dow was up 10 points. We're thinking, man, oh man, if they could do this for a while, the Dow could be up 100 points. And that was a big move back then. Let's see. The Dow was at approximately 750 to 900. And I was a stockbroker for 8 years and had the great pleasure of watching the Dow go from 750 to 1,000. Then it would back off to 750. Then it'd go back up to 1,000. And after 8 years of that fun, decided it was time to go do something else. But the one thing I learned back then was that brokerage firms had no more idea what made stocks go up or down than anybody else. Let's see, isn't he a? That's a good. Yeah, that's a good looking chart. All right, on the short side, there aren't too many things that I would jump into with any great force because of the I'm already getting hit. But here's a kind of a dumpling top slow curve on cons. That one I'd be more apt to go short because of the pattern that we haven't seen a wild downtrend in this one just yet. CLVS, same scenario. There's that slow curve just starting to break down. That could take you down to the bottom here, taking you down about almost 40, 50%. STX, which was a good chart pattern on the way up. Now, this is the reason it's kind of, you can pick out one of these with the idea that if this is the downtrending channel, they could bring this all the way back down to the $15 area, draw a parallel channel line or channel trend. And 3D, there's your bearish flutter kicker. Now this one, like so many others, is off a big percentage today. But notice it's a bearish flutter kicker. It's right here at the support level, the 200. Makes it fairly simple. If it opens positive, you don't pay attention to it. If it opens lower, telling you it's breaking this level, got another possibility of wave 1, wave 2, starting the wave 3 with a bearish flutter kicker. Same scenario on CC. Good probabilities with a bearish flutter kicker breaking or failing here at the 50, breaking the T line. We could bring it back down to the 200. All right, so this has been a relatively short session, and only because right now I've sat for the last couple of days closing out long positions. I'm pretty much at this point 80% cash, and the only reason I've got some positions on is some of the option trades went south so quickly it wasn't worth selling them out. So at this point, there's no feel for whether they're going to bounce it or continue to take it down. So that's why I've been pretty much playing or watching the 10-minute chart just to see which way things are going. And as you can see, once it hit that big down move today, went sideways for the rest of the day, making it very difficult to do any trading at all. All right, so I'm sorry I don't have anything more inspirational, but at this point, the markets are in conditions that I'd rather just sit back and try to speculate on what's going to happen, wait for the charts to set up again, tell me where the high probability setups are. All right, so with that, this will probably give us a good opportunity to do some general questions on candlesticks tonight. So if you got any general questions on candlesticks, go ahead and ask them. And I guess if no questions, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. Oh, Bill, no, we didn't do our session as on stops. I will write that down and see if we can schedule it. Stops. I'll try to schedule that since it seems like they've lightened up on our schedule a little bit for the summertime. Okay, all right. Whoops. So this is still a best friend type signal, the doji gap up with a lot of profit taking. It makes it pretty simple. If it opens positive tomorrow, you can start buying because that tells you the profit taking's over. You probably still have some more upside. More than likely, at least back up to where the high was today. Dollar Tree, you can stay long as they don't close the line. So I guess that's what's happening is with this big sell-off, we're all going to be buying our stuff at Dollar Tree and Dollar General. I went there last night to buy a couple of things, and it only cost $63 to get out of there. Fossil, that's a good-looking short, especially with the doji gap down. I wouldn't be afraid to be shorting this one on weakness tomorrow. Oh, that's short. Scary. You didn't read far enough. Yeah, you can be shorting this one also. Not as compelling as Fossil, but if it opened lower, I would suspect they're coming back at least to test this level and possibly fill in the gap. FCSC. A little breakout. I don't know what the volume is, but I hope the volume's pretty good. But yes, another one that if it opened positive into today's profit-taking area, you can be buying it. Another gold stock there's the classic fry pan bottom J-hook. Stay long, but notice how far away you are now from the T-line. Go to your 10-minute chart. I would probably pick a spot. Say the profit taking has started, which would probably be around this level, the halfway point of this candle. AMDA. Little fry pan bottom breakout. That's a good looking chart. Just make sure your volume is good. PDOC. Another one that's held up. This one you can still be buying on positive trading. Kind of your fry pan. As long as they don't close it below the T line, makes more than likely your 200-day moving average your next likely target. And I saw that David L. was buying some XBIC. You can be buying this one. That's a good looking chart. Now I say you can be buying this one. You also have to be aware of what the general market is doing. I wouldn't be rushing into anything long. If wake up when the pre-market futures on the Dow are down another 150, with a possibility of taking them down further. So I would rather at this point, instead of jumping into something that looks like it could work, be a little bit more patient and wait for the strong ones that are occurring when and if the market bottoms out. NSA, good looking chart, another one you can be buying. PCG, same thing, good looking chart. Fuel cell. Nothing yet. I still wouldn't buy this until you see it close up above the T line, but it's getting there. So on a relative basis or relative strength, it acted well in today's market. Dick's Sporting Good, nothing here yet. You had the left-right combo yesterday, which meant it needed to open positive today. Obviously, it didn't. I wouldn't be long or short, just not much of a trajectory one way or the other. Apple, you stay short. Facebook, you stay short, with probably the target being the 200-day moving average. And AXSM, this one is, you can buy. This is a good reason to have these sessions at night, is we're finding good charts that I may have missed during the day because of something. But AXSM is a viable candidate. Micron had a strong week last week, but again, this is where when you see it gap up like that, just put your stop at the previous day's close. They shouldn't come back down through there. Right now, if you're in it, the only way to stay in it tomorrow is to open positive and trade positive. If it trades lower, close it out and wait to see what the market's going to do. CDE should be a good-looking chart. It is. That one still in that steady eddy stage ever since our best friend signal right here. You just stay long. Amazon was holding up a little bit today, but didn't do too bad. But notice where it did the doji, right smack dab on the 50. Oh, Nora, when I was a stockbroker back with Kidder Peabody back in 1976 through 81 or 82, with the markets moving basically sideways, not going anywhere. Oh boy. Um, the strategy that Kidder Peabody was recommending was recommend the utilities because a lot of them were paying 7.6, 8.8% dividend yield. So if you could buy a utility for $14 and hold it for the year, where it went from, what did I just say, $13 to $14, you made 5.5% on the utility and 8.8% on the dividend. So you had about a 13 or 14% overall return. And it was like selling paint, uh, just not selling paint, but watching paint dry was just excruciating. The oil fund, oil is still selling off. A little bit indecisive. Let's see did I check crude oil? Oh, I did. Yeah, crude oil is backed off, trading up a little bit after hours. Let's see what gold is doing right now. Still trading up a little bit. Jerry, we don't know that. We don't know whether this is a beginning of a bear market or a knee-jerk reaction. So with not a reversal signal and it kind of basing, not doing anything real negative, not doing anything greatly positive, but at least in a positive mode, we don't know whether this is a reversal that could be sustained or whether we might start seeing bounces in here. So I don't know the answer to that. I wouldn't think it's a reversal signal. Now, had they opened up here and done a big bearish engulfing signal, obviously that was a different analysis. But right now, telling us we probably have some more downside, but because it wasn't a reversal signal in itself, I'm more inclined, after seeing these type of things through the years, that you're going to see a bounce because at some point. UCO, crude oil. It just stay right now. It's still selling off. GDX, that's acting a little bit more positive, especially if it opens positive tomorrow. And UVXY, that's the short-term futures. Or I'd stay long on this until you see a sell signal confirmed. Bank of America just getting slammed. A lot of the banks were getting hit hard today. So if you're short, you stay short, but you're getting towards the oversold area. I just pick a point that says I shouldn't see it buying and maybe the halfway point of this candle. Western Digital just got slammed also. A lot of the ones that were acting strong last week with nice J-hook patterns are just getting slammed. Now, LRCX, notice where it closed, right on the 50-day moving average. So this is why it'll be important to see where these open tomorrow to see whether they've hit some support levels. STX, another one that if you're shorting them, again, it's still going to be a function of what the market is doing because obviously these aren't selling off because of individual problems. They're selling off because the market's been selling off that hard or as hard as they are. So if I was shorting this one on weakness tomorrow, I would definitely have a stop at any signs of buying. So if it opened lower tomorrow, I'd immediately put my buy stop at today's close because if it came back up through there, it's pretty much indicating that somebody's starting to step in with them being sold off so hard. American Tower, is that a REIT also? I would just stay, I wouldn't be a buyer or seller of this Apparently they pay a dividend. I would just stay long on this one. Can you highlight a belt hold on a chart? Yes. Somebody, you remember what the belt holds were? Oh, Kroger was a belt hold. No, that's not quite a belt hold. Dollar General. This is a little bit of a belt hold. A belt hold is where they gap it way out of the trading range and then bring it back up into the trading range by the end of the day or end of the time frame. And essentially what a belt hold is described as from the Japanese race traders is you've got the two sumo wrestlers and then one's trying to back out of the ring, the other one grabs his belt and pulls him back in, and the wrestling continues in the trend. But there's implications of a belt hold, which is they took out a lot of sellers here, so all the sellers out of the way, which means any buying has less sellers in front of it, and it usually creates a good move to the upside. Let's see, DTE. They pay a good dividend, all right. Pazar. Pazar, that's a toughie. Obviously, if you were long based upon this pattern and it opened down here, I would stay long. Except today it did a doji harami. The Stochastic's heading down. If I was long, I'd simply put my stop at today's, just below today's low, because if it's moving in that direction, pretty much tells us they couldn't get back up above the T-line. And CBay, I would be out of. This one just doesn't have anything there to indicate any strong buying efforts. EXAS was showing some strength earlier today, but it's right now, as long as it stays above the T-line, you can stay with it. Now, if the market opened lower tomorrow, I'd put my sell stop just below the T-line. Because the rationale would be that you're at the top of the trend channel, might be coming down to the bottom of the trend channel, but if you came below the T-line and the market was still selling off, that means everybody's jumping in to sell. You can always buy back once we see the market turn around. Whiting just getting clobbered. Yeah, this is one where with the bearish, doji sandwich that you should have been selling out. But now we're getting down in the oversold area. If you've sold it, you get ready to buy it back. If you've held on to it, you better see a buy signal here pretty quick. Ooh, this one, I don't know what to tell you there. Another one that has to open positive to stay in it. If it opened lower, you can see what's happening. Every time they've taken it up, tails to the upside are telling you that the sellers are still kind of keeping a lid on this one. If it opened lower tomorrow, I'd probably close it out. VXX, short fund, just stay long. Tesla showed a little bit of strength today. All it would do is tell me if I was short, I had to cover my short, but I wouldn't be buying this one just yet. Wells Fargo, another one that if it opens lower tomorrow, you can stay short or go short because of the bearish J-hook type pattern. Once again, it's going to be a function of what the market indexes do. Data, another one that has sold off pretty hefty, but the kicker type signal tells us more than likely they're coming back down to test this level. VCOR, just stay long, but it has to open positive. If it opens lower, it's probably coming back to test the 200, which isn't really that significant, other than the fact that you've kind of lost the trajectory and you got to wait to see when the next buy signal sets in. And Mobley needed to open positive with it opening lower. It's already touched the 200. If you're long, it has to open positive or start showing strength pretty early in the day. If it opens lower, they're coming back again to the 200, which, as you can see, would be kind of a support level. But same as kind of the rest of them, it's going to be a function of how they open or what the pre-market futures are telling is going on. This one, HTBX, I'd be out of it. Had the breakout, and then you had a close back below the T line, well below the halfway point of that candle. There's nothing here. I'd move my money someplace else. BCOR, we did. Mobley, we did. All right. MRKT, right now, if you're short, you stay short. Notice how they've never been able to get this to close back up above the T line. Blue, this one is just now breaking down. This one, another candidate to start shorting. There's a little slow curve. Start shorting because it hasn't had any significant big drop yet, which means your next target could be down in this area. ASY, not coming up for some reason. California Water Service. Just stay long on this as long as it stays above the T line. Lowe's should be doing well because I spent lots of money there over the weekend. Trying to support here in the channel, but remember, it's going to move in the direction how they open it. They open it lower. You've got a bearish doji sandwich. The bullish day of Friday tried to get back up above the T line and couldn't do it. So right now you just have to assume you're in a downtrend until you see a buy signal. And the same with Home Depot. If they open this lower, now you've got a bearish J-hook pattern in progress. Yes, that was on in my computer. Looked like AVG was catching a virus somewhere. ASV, that's kind of your belt hold bullish engulfing. Again, they gapped it down below, so that's a good looking chart. DPS, a little bit of a belt hold. Dr. Pepper, I guess that Dr. Pepper, yeah, kind of that belt hold and then the bullish confirmation. You can stay long on this one. It's not a very interesting one to trade just because this was a big move today. Usually percentage-wise, it's not going to move very much because of it being an institutional trader. A belt hold on the Dow? No. Remember, a belt hold gaps way down below the, yeah, this is just hard selling. Jamie, I know it matters to Donald Trump. Yeah, I remember being involved in a lot of IPOs. I can also remember, fortunately I didn't have charts back when I was a stockbroker, but I can remember my mother calling up one day and say, Chrysler is selling for $2.25. I think I should pick up a couple thousand shares at this level. And I said, Mom, any company that has to go to the government, a bailout, just be throwing good money after bad. Well, when they came out with their new offering at 16, we couldn't sell it fast enough. And unfortunately, I talked my mother out of buying $4,000 worth of stock, which I'm sure just a few years later was like worth $150,000. So that's why analyzing the fundamentals don't mean a hill of beans. ANET, another one that would be hard to short at this point just because of the magnitude of move. If you happen to be short, you stay short until you see a buy signal. Oh, no, we won't have a session next Monday night. I guess that's 4th of July, right? Nobody wants to be giving up hot dogs for, you might have to do it on Monday night. BMC, this one I would be out of. Yesterday there was some significant, or Friday there was some indication that the buyers were there, but when they closed back below today, or that low, that told you they weren't there. Plus, you've lost your trajectory. I'd be someplace else. And HRL, that's a good-looking little chart. It's the everybody's running to the safety. Futures are up right now. All right. I'm sure there's going to be some bounces in here, because all it's going to do is have somebody come out with a different view of what's happening over in, the UK, and investor sentiment will switch right around, and everybody will come roaring back in. DMRI, is that the right symbol? DMRI, coming up. Absent a sell signal on the Dow and S&P, should we wait for a buy signal and a close above the T line, or wait for the next buy signal? I am waiting for the next buy signal because we know probably where it's going to go to. Bounce back up to the T line, which will be a significant move. Yep, Jim, good for you. I wish you'd called me time. LNG. Right now, I wouldn't be long or short this one, just because of the sideways mode. EGC. Doesn't seem to want to come up over here. Another, is this a real estate? Obviously, it's back to the support level in the oversold area. If you're thinking of buying it, I would still use a close above the T line as a entry point. This one opened higher today and sold off. So, and it sold off back into the trading range. So there's nothing really here to get excited about. HRL, yeah, that was kind of a belt hold yesterday on Friday. Again, so a belt hold nearly opens way out of the trading range and comes up toward the trading range. Means it can do one of three things: either close toward the trading range, close halfway up that candle and become a belt or a belt hold piercing signal, or close above the previous day's trading range and become a belt hold bullish engulfing signal. UNG, yes, looking like it's setting up for a bobble pattern. Yeah, NTRA, after the big breakout on Thursday, held up reasonably well on Friday. but obviously it's sold off today, and this is why I'm saying, even though some of them have good patterns or good signals, if the market is still against everything, going the wrong direction, usually they'll start weakening some of these good charts. Let's see, are the bounce back form a double bottom before they go up? We don't know. All we know is that if they start bouncing things, they're going to come up to some level, and if it's the T-line, then you just have to watch to see if they get through that level or not. A lot of times they'll bounce up, fail at the T-line, and come back down again. Let's see. No, TZ, if the yen goes lower, that's not good for, that means the dollar is stronger. That's not good for American companies because it means the Japanese can buy less of our products. You're looking at the Dow, Sean? Well, the other thing is putting on a Fibonacci retracement. This is a wave, and they're in a pullback. You put on the Fibonacci's, as we said. Oops. Oh, this was the Dow, right back to the 38% retracement. And if you put that same thing on the NASDAQ, it's right back to the 50% retracement. So somebody asked not too long ago, do I use Fibonacci numbers? Not as a top criteria for analyzing what's going on. I use it to see if it's closed right here. That gives me a little bit more stimulus to watch to see if there's a buy signal at this level, because it's closed right on a level that everybody else is watching. Yeah, let's see. Right now, the dollar is having a hard time getting up through that 200-day moving average. So things might be settling out a little bit at this point. Okay, we're done early tonight. And I'll try to be in a little bit more often tomorrow in the chat room, mainly because if this thing turns, there's a good probability that, I mean, we've lost 900 points, some odd points over the last 2 days of trading. You got a 400-point rally, you can make some very good money trading that. Rest up for the next part of the market show. Yes. All right. Also, just to remind, I'm supposed to remind everybody we still have 2 spots left in the second session up at Keuka Lake. We're still trying to get that filled with members because I think it'll be a lot more meaningful for members since they've already got some background of what candlestick charts should be telling you. So just a little bit more insights before you get there. So with that, everybody have a good evening. We'll see you bright and early in the morning. See you then.